having conversations here about various challenges that are going on in our communities. Now, there's been some incidents, in the last couple of weeks. One where we found that at a Brig Girls, actually, there's a Citi News story. Let me just read the headline. I'm not going to do the full story right now. It says here, GES begins probe into tragic death of a Brig Girls SHS student. There's another headline here, also on citinewsroom.com. It says, swiftly investigate death of Kapohen SHS student. Eddie Watch speaking to the police. Now, we have a report, a brief one. Let's take a look at it. It's a CNR report, and basically what has been happening in the last couple of weeks. Let's take a look at it.
Earlier this month, Stacey Ochre, a first-year student at a Brig Girls Senior High School, tragically passed away after reportedly being denied medical attention by the school nurse despite complaining of severe stomach pain. Investigations into her death continue, while similar incidents have occurred at Akim Swedru Senior High School in the Eastern Region and Kapohen SHS in the Northern Region. As concerns over this troubling pattern mount, Africa Education Watch underscores the necessity of overhauling health systems in secondary institutions.
It appears that teachers and school managers and those who man the sick base use their discretion when such issues emerge. Why? Because we haven't taken adequate, attention. Taking adequate notice of and giving attention to health systems in our schools. Many schools do not have sick bays that are functioning well. Many schools do not have competent personnel manning their sick bays. Many schools do not have medicines at their sick bays. NHS is not working in many sick bays, so you have to pay cash. We know all of this. Okay, so it is important for the Ghana Education Service to institute a comprehensive audit of all health facilities and systems in all the senior high schools. And on the back of that report, initiate reforms, resource the health centers with the requisite medicines, requisite staff through collaboration with the Ghana Health Service, of course, and most importantly, ensure that all health centers in schools or sick bays have readily available vehicles to transport students to the nearest health facilities.
Kofi Asare also advocates for the implementation of a case management protocol to govern healthcare delivery in schools.
There must be case management protocols in the Ghana Education Service to be used by all senior high schools. And such case management protocols will simply detail what everyone within the health case management value chain needs to do when a health case emerges in our schools, from the health prefect to the senior housemaster to the sick bay attendant to the housemaster or whoever is responsible to ensure that the child is taken to a hospital if the disease is not within the control of the school sick bay. This must be a well-documented case management protocol, such that whenever an issue emerges, it is easily to diagnose within the case flow where lapses may have occurred.
Meanwhile, Bright Appiah, the Executive Director of Child Rights International, calls for severe penalties against authorities found guilty of negligence.
One of the things that we've also been not able to do has to do with holding people responsible for things that happens in the school environment. As you've mentioned, it has happened so many times, but we have failed to take a drastic action against those who sleep on their responsibilities by neglecting the very right that they have to protect and all that. It happened in Wesley Girls. It happened in Holy Child. It happened in Achimota recently. We are still in court. We haven't gotten any ruling in respect to that. And then it is happening now. So if we are able to hold people responsible, we will design a system in such a way that we have to hold them responsible and accountable for the souls that we have entrusted in their hands and the students that we have given to our schools. So it's a whole system regime that we have to change.
Yes, and that was Bright Appear of Child Rights International, and you heard earlier Kofi Asare of EduWatch as well. Now, the story here on citynewsroom.com says swiftly investigate death of Kalpohin SHS student. EduWatch to the police, and it says here the African Education Watch EduWatch has urgently called upon the Ghana Police Service to promptly investigate the tragic death of a student out at Kalpohin Secondary Senior High School. Now, according to reports, the sixth student was entrusted to the care of another student for transportation to the hospital after being granted an exeat. Unfortunately, the difficulty in securing transport led to delays in reaching a health facility, and the student allegedly passed away upon arrival at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Now, in a statement released on Wednesday, EduWatch expressed condolences to the grieving family during this challenging time. Now, the organization highlighted that this incident marks the second reported death in Ghanaian secondary schools in less than 2 weeks. Now, both stemming from what they perceive as the improper exercise of discretion by school authorities. Now, EduWatch also noted at least 4 more similar cases widely reported since 2017, underscoring the urgency for thorough investigations and corrective action to prevent future occurrences. Now, we can go on to read the rest of it, including the press statement by EduWatch as well. It's also in the story. Now, Elaine, my issues are simple, just a couple of them. First of all, we are not a nation that punishes people or a nation that believes in punishing people simply because they did wrong, right? We typically tend to use our laws to punish people who are disfavored, right? So it's like, because me and you know be cool like that,
I can punish
then
you.
I can apply the law in this case. But once I don't have an issue with you, even though the law must be implemented, we tend to sort of look away and act as though it didn't really happen.
Implication of the law, void of emotions.
Find excuses, find reasons, find, all kinds of things to excuse people who are duty bearers, who should face the full rigors of their negligence. We don't do that. We rather allow them to continue. And so, guess what? It happened at Jabri. It happened at Akis. It happened at Kalpohin. It's going to continue as long as we don't have the guts and the people that are responsible don't have the cojones.
No, they said they are buying a coffin.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, they are buying a coffin.
I heard that.
They are buying a coffin.
So we will support you in burying your child. There must be something wrong with you. There must be absolutely something wrong with you. Is the correct response to the situation that will buy a coffin, or that such a thing must never repeat itself again?
If proper investigations are done, the negligence has to be a law that has to be applied to arrest. If
but
proper investigations are done.
But you see, Elaine, you'll be very surprised to find that there will actually be regulations in place to punish people, but it's like we're just not willing to apply them.
Oh no.
That's how we are. We don't like to apply the one that is there. We don't want to apply. We pretend as if it's not there. Then we look away.
Somebody has lost a child.
But as soon as you are disfavored, the law will come out bearing its teeth.
You can still go to and you'll be in prison for 5 years. Yeah. But you can neglect and have a child die and still live comfortably in your home and eat fufu.
Yeah. And that's how it is.
The pain of this This is painful. This is a mother and a father who have lost their child. The father was out of the country when they had that call. This is disheartening. The ministry has to rise up. The lack of logistics, no reforms, none whatsoever in our sick base.
Yes, talk about that one you mentioned.
There are no reforms in our sick base.
Yeah.
None of them. No vehicles, no equipment, none whatsoever. I have entered a sick bay in a school. I will not name it, but you know, assistant headmaster, you know what I saw. It was appalling. For a child to lay bare on the floor, there are no mats, there are no mattresses, there are no beds, there are no first aid kits, and the sad part is, when the requirement for schools is that you come with your NHIS card. So what is that requirement for? When we know that the NHIS card itself doesn't work in the school and you have to pay. And at a point in time, when I am saying this, and youth assistant headmaster, you know it, it's happened and we have to pay 20 cedis for exeat. When a child is sick, 20 Ghana cedi for a teacher. What do they call them? A section teacher. Yes, 20 Ghana cedi. I am telling you, my child has to pay.
An exeat that you sign.
An exeat.
You pay for exeat.
An exeat, and I will show you the message on my phone. An exeat, 20 Ghana cedi. While I was at work, I had to make my child's school's father pay for it, just for the exeat.
And they'll say it's for what?
And they'll say that it's for, yes. Meanwhile, if you are really taking those monies, why don't you put those monies into buy a car or service the car that is spoilt over there, so that children can have access when they are sick, and not put a child in the care of another child?
Yeah, can you imagine that?
Put the child in the care of another child. That is sad. As a parent, you sit in the school and you watch this. Yeah. This is becoming unbecoming. The ministry has to rise up. The ministry has to do something. From 2017, 4 cases. How are we going to sit back as parents and watch this keep happening? This is too much. This is too much. If I had lost my child, hey, I tell you, Jonah, this is too much.
Yeah.